Greetings, fellow Earthlings, and welcome to this tiny garage.
We started this week at the local Porsche dealer because we just had to make a purchase. Look at this pretty car. It's a Taycan. This is the base model Taycan, the rear wheel drive. Still looks quite nice. Very space aged. The Turbo S version of this is a Lamborghini killer, I promise. All electric. Look at those beautiful Bordeaux red seats. Now, I expected a slew of GT3s and fancy exotic cars at the Porsche dealer, but no, mostly SUVs. This first one with the sloped rear end and the spoiler is the Cayenne Coupe, just to give your claustrophobic terrier real nightmares. Behind that is the regular Cayenne that probably won't get you reported to the SPCA. And finally, this Aston Martin-esque Porsche Macan, which is the sports car of SUVs, apparently. I do like that color, I think. It's Miami blue. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Is that a beautiful color for this Carrera that I'm rebuilding? Or is that a terrible idea? What's that? Breaking news? We have breaking news now? Oh my gosh, over live to Tori. Take it, Tori.
Hey, Billy Deal, we just want to give you a huge shout out. I'm so happy that you're loving the video. Maybe, hopefully, one day we can get it done and then you can take me for a ride.
Okay, folks, as a group, let's give Billy Deal time to get his supper off the floor and talk really fast to his girlfriend for a second while we relax after a hard day and look at this engine half being cleaned with foam and high-pressure water. Avid watchers of this series will know that I promised myself and you that I wouldn't clean any of this engine with water. But it went so well with the cylinder head covers, and I know now that the cylinder heads themselves are in a gunk tank, and people do put these engine halves in a gunk tank. However, I have been advised that the high-temperature, acidic environment in a gunk tank can be a little excessive and possibly damaging to the Loctite-lined cylinders in these engine halves. Therefore, I have made the executive decision that if they can survive any time in a gunk tank, then they can survive a few minutes of high-pressure foamy water at the local car wash. And that's going to help me get a head start on the forest of dirt that has been colonizing both halves of this Porsche engine. Why don't I just get these engine halves vapor blasted, I hear you say? Well, part of me would love that, but here's how a vapor blaster explained this to me. He said if I was an engine builder and I was charging someone $20,000 or $30,000 to rebuild their engine, then yes, I should probably bring it to him and he'll charge me $1,000 or $2,000 to make it look beautiful. But he said for everyone else, in 6 months, that engine's going to be dirty again. So maybe save your money. Vapor blasting of the engine half that we're working on here would be at least $500 at local rates. At the local car wash, I spent a total of $10 on this one half of the engine, plus an additional $5 in brake cleaner and Kimtech wipes and Scotch-Brite pads, that kind of thing. Getting down to the nitty-gritty now, I'm taking off this metal plate and this black O-ring and hoping that I have new ones of those in that kit that I bought. Unbelievably, after all that high-pressure probing, there is still this lump of dirt stuck in this part of the engine. Here now, I'm removing any of the gaskets that I might find on this bank one side of the engine half. Trying to see there if that one has a front or a back. They don't seem to have a front or a back. And then before replacing any of those gaskets, we have to clean all of the surfaces using the plastic trim tool again for use, I don't know, number 27. That's not actually trim related. Very good at taking the surface down and not marring anything. I did invest in some new 3M scuff pad instead of the Scotch-Brite pad I had been using since forever. One pad goes a long way. I also got a wider brass brush at Home Depot, which worked well. And then the stainless steel brush on the unfinished parts of the aluminum was great. And then going over the inside pretty good as well. Finishing up then with compressed air from the air bubble just to remove any lint or debris that's not obvious to the human eye, and then also to see if any random water squirts at me from an orifice that I forgot about. I shouldn't have worried. The tiny garage is over 90 degrees F right now with the summer weather we're having. This engine half was dry as a bone in minutes. I would like to thank David Gray because he rocks. Thank you, David Gray, for sending me these white Sharpie pens, a matching pair. These little beauties are to help me keep a track of which bolts I have previously torqued during the assembly process. Thank you very much, David Gray. Ready for some dowel pin hammering, everybody? I am. Let me introduce you to Loctite 574 Flange Sealant. I really don't know what it's for, but I know you can use it between metal surfaces. I'm hoping that it will encourage this dowel pin that fell off in episode 16 to stay put long enough that we can get this engine bolted back together. It's orange. You just pull out the flange on the nozzle and it flows really very easily. It's one of the best goo delivery devices I've come across. So just a bead of that orange goo. Thanks to subscriber Bobby Mitchell coming to the rescue, we not only know its name, but where it lives, and it's time for it to go home. And then when I was hammering it, you could tell when you had driven it home because the sound changed. Those last 3 hits were in place. New engine, new gaskets. If you remember from episode 24, we got this gasket kit, which hopefully had every gasket we need in it. So here's my organizing process. We have Ziploc bags. If it was a green circle and a red circle, it went in that first bag. If it had metal in it, it went in the second bag. If it was a green rubber triangle, it went in the last bag on the top row. If it was too big to fit in those bags, it stayed in its original large box. Those are the exhaust manifold gaskets and the water pump gasket. Then bank 1 new is all the new ones that I fished out for the bank 1/2 we're working on right now. Then the next bag in the middle is the black cardboard gaskets, and at the end there is the black rubber gaskets. That's it. That's my fancy organization system for the gaskets. It did allow me to find the correct gaskets for the bank 1/2. One of the gaskets that you do have to buy separate from the gasket kit is this cylinder head gasket, which is kind of fancy. It's like 3 parts joined together somehow. It does seem to fit the space and look cool, so to the untrained eye, it's perfect. Then we did find the thermostat gasket, which is right there. Then this is the vacuum reservoir piece of metal thingy. And then that is not very exotic, thankfully. It is for the dipstick tube. A little black rubber gasket that came with the kit goes right there. And then I am holding that in place with some metal duct tape to stop it from falling out. The old nightmare of finding these on the floor after you've assembled the engine. So here, this is a question to you all. If I had bought the Porsche gasket, would it fit more tightly? Here, again, this is not in any manual because I don't have a manual. This is Loctite 5900 sealant. I'm simply using that to hold the gasket in place. This is one of the passageways for coolant. And then I'm wiping off any of the extra there and just holding it in place with the non-sticky side of that tape. The idea there is just to hold the gasket in place so we don't find it on the floor after we've assembled everything. And it should be pretty obvious to remove that tape before we put the halves together. This gasket for the other side of that same bank 1 cylinder case half. It had a tighter fit, but I'm still going to put a little bit of this flange sealant on there. I really don't see any harm in it, and it will give me a little bit of peace of mind that that is not going to go anywhere. I was also concerned whether these gaskets had a front or a back. I don't think they do. They seem to be the same either way round. Same thing there, I'm putting the non-sticky side and then some sticky side to hold it in place. Here's that large black cardboard gasket that is for the water pump and other orifices for the coolant that I don't fully understand. With that bank 1 engine half all completed and ready to move on to the next step, we did need to go to the Porsche dealer to buy something. Sadly, we are not purchasing this stunning Neptune blue all-electric Taycan. A base model all-electric Taycan like one of these will set you back $106,000 plus taxes and fees. For that you do get pretty good performance. The 0 to 60 is 5.1 seconds. Any of you 996 fans out there will know that the car that we're working on, which is 20 years older and not $106,000, is actually a little faster. The 0 to 60 on a 2001 Carrera is 5 seconds flat. Of course, I digress. The real reason we're at the Porsche dealer is to buy a washer and a circlip from the parts department. Here's the spanky new washer for the IMS tensioner. A total of $1.76 plus tax. And then here that is the new circlip, but that was also $1.76 plus tax. It took 3 days to get here from Atlanta, I believe. Including 27 cents of sales tax, the grand total of $3.79 for both the circlip and the washer was still less than just the shipping would have been had I ordered this from Pelican Parts. There's the old washer and the new washer side by side. So is the old one worn? Well, it seems like a different design, but that might mean that it's been worn smooth to that extent. And if that is the case, then it is definitely worth the $1.76 to replace it. And there's our $2 circlip on there. And yeah, that feels way more solid. This next procedure I have completely made up. Please don't think it's from any manual or any expert. All I'm trying to do here is get this chain, which is for bank 2, that is not going into anything yet. I'm trying to make it so it doesn't flop around and get in the way when we're trying to put the bearing carrier into the bank 1 engine half. All I'm doing then is zip tying that chain together so it stays in one lump, and then zip tying that lump to one of the conrod little ends or wrist pin bushings to hold it in that place without anyone having to fuss with it. Okay, well, yes, I guess there is a little bit of news. Any of you super attentive Instagram followers will know that last week I ended up in the emergency room. And while I won't bore you to death with the gory details here, I wasn't injured carrying heavy things, but I have been advised that I really should avoid lifting heavy things. Now this of course coincides with the 1 week when we need to lift the single heaviest thing into this Porsche engine, the bearing carrier, and that meant I needed some help, like superhero levels of help. When I think of needing superhero levels of help, I think of 2 people, Ali and Tori. Now Tori and Ali gratefully agreed to help put this bearing carrier into the engine. Ali, he just came back from a UFC camp in Croatia where they spend the morning choking each other out and they spend the afternoon laughing about it. And Tori, well, Tori, let's meet Tori. Tori, let's just thank you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you coming and lifting the heavy things.
I would do anything for you.
Thank you also for agreeing to apply our Loctite flange sealant, which is a new adventure for both of us.
Yes, I've never done this before.
Well,
in a garage or anywhere else.
What we need to do then, really, the flat surfaces, they need a small thin bead that's continuous. So some artistic flair maybe.
Ooh.
All the way around, like blah, 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 down there. Maybe a break. And then blah, 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 all the way back up. And then down the other side, we've got a double row. And then probably that guy needs some love.
Yeah, the small men need love too, so I got that.
Wow, so generous.
I try to be.
All right, so go for it. Let's see what happens.
Okay, do we want it extra looby? Do we want it like nice and thin layer?
Thin layer apparently
Thin layer, okay,
is where
well,
we're going, though it might seem
you know,
counterintuitive.
the thin ones can
Don't
do the
forget
work
to
too.
squeeze.
Oh, yeah, you always got to squeeze. Sometimes you do double-handed, but I think I might be good with just one. Let me know if that's thicker.
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
As long as it's continuous.
Maybe I might need 2 hands for this bad boy.
Whoa.
It's not. Oh, that's harder than I thought it was going to be.
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
And just down the middle, doesn't have to touch the edges, doesn't it?
Okay. Is that good?
Lovely.
I don't know why, but this is actually kind of hard.
Well, I'm glad
Oh, we got a, oh, sorry. We got a little messy over here. Okay, great. We're just gonna go around, lube it up, you know. Don't want it too messy.
It looks quite neat from here.
I mean, it's not my day job, but I'm really good at pretending like it is.
Yeah. I see.
Okay. Are we gonna have enough lube?
Gosh, it can always be a problem when you run out of lube. Let's hope we're halfway there, right?
I mean, I don't think spit is gonna work for this.
No, that's not in the manual.
No. But who knows? Just a man in his garage, right?
All alone. Yeah.
Okay,
Not
one
so
side
though.
done. Is that good?
Beauteous. That's it.
All right, we can't forget the small guy.
Yes, please.
Oh, do I need to stay over here?
Probably.
Okay. All right,
Better angle.
that'll get more of a boob shot anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a cool color. I thought it'd be red.
Around the hole. I know, I did too. The trickery. Okay.
Awesome.
It's definitely not as...
I'm going to move angles
Okay.
to get that.
You said I'm going around that as well, right? That part?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like a double row down one side and back up the other side.
Okay.
Whatever way you want to do it.
That's usually what I do.
Awesome. That's working out.
Okay. Some's going in the hole.
No.
Sometimes you just can't help it. Things slip.
That comes with experience.
Yes. I feel like you got a lot of that. Not me. I'm an angel.
With a name like Torilicious, of course.
Yeah. Well, I go by many names.
Oh dear.
Torilicious. I'm Mrs. Oh my God, that Tori Shameless.
Oh.
Torina la Cochina.
Oh. Something to do with cooking?
No, that's a cocina.
Oh, no.
Yeah, a cochina. Well, a cochina is like a pig, but then like
Okay.
if you're like a cochina, then you're a nasty girl.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Educational.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been calling people nasty pigs when I was hungry.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
It's okay. I went to a Padres game and I was yelling, I want a churro.
Yeah.
But I was really yelling that I wanted diarrhea.
Ooh.
But I meant to say I want a churro. A churro. You gotta say it like a chew, like you're chewing.
Give me churro and then give me diarrhea. One of
Churro
Yeah.
and churro.
What's the difference?
Churro and churro. A churro.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Whew. I literally worked up a sweat. My boobs are crying.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Mine too, really.
You're welcome.
All right, so we move on to the next step. And by we, I mean you.
Me. Okay,
Yes.
great. Yay.
Thank you.
Set in place. Get your legs ready. Stick your butt out.
Here we go then, folks. We're going to flip it over. Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Tori.
All right.
And action.
All right, here we go.
Down to your side a bit, Ali. A bit more that way. Yeah, there. See, this will go in that little slot there. There we go.
Good.
And I think that is... Oh my gosh. Was it that easy, folks?
I mean, with Ali, yes, it was very easy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the help. So here it is, finally, the bearing carrier installed into the Bank 1 engine half. I couldn't have done this without help. Thank you so much, Ali. Thank you, Tori. Really, that made this whole process really much more fun. I think you might want to look into having some friends help you if you are going to be installing the bearing carrier with all these chains and what have you. Anyway, for one last time, over to Tori.
Unfortunately, that's all we have time for this week. If you like this video, please subscribe, like it, share it with your friends, and we will see you next week. Hey Billy Dale, thank you so much for watching the video and giving me, oh fuck, I had it.
For a word at the beginning.
I did. Billy Dale.
We're thankful that Billy did.
Thank you for watching this video. That's pure muscle, baby. Don't try this at home. Okay. Am I making noise with this when I do that?
Yes.